Hello and welcome back. Today's episode is one that I know will resonate deep in your bones because we're diving into a question that almost every manifester asks, I believe, at some point or another on their journey. And this question is, why is it taking so long? Or on the flip side, how did that just happen so fast? So, we're going to be uncovering all the different dimensions of these questions around time. And we're going to be talking about the speed of manifestation, why some things appear instantly while others take months or even years, right? What the timing really depends on, and how to know if your energy is in alignment or if your soul is still just preparing you behind the scenes for your divine manifestation. We will explore the difference between urgency and clarity. We'll explore the role that your nervous system plays in how much you can actually receive at once, and why sometimes doing all the quote unquote right things still doesn't get you the results that you crave. And what we'll also do is we'll look at all the deeper layers, like how to discern between desires that come from your soul versus distractions from your tikkun, your soul correction, and whether there's actually a root manifestation that unlocks all the other desires, all the other manifestations, right? And so if you've ever wondered whether you should be focusing on one thing at a time, if it's okay to want a lot at once, or how to collapse time in a way that's energetically aligned and spiritually true, then this episode is for you. So take a deep breath, get comfy, settle in. You might just hear exactly what your soul's been waiting to hear. Let's dive in. Becoming a co creator with the creator is your birthright. Together, we'll journey into your deepest authenticity. Because the more you align with who you truly are, the more effortlessly you call in the life that you desire and deserve. And most importantly, the more you step into your soul's highest purpose. Welcome to the Manifestation Method podcast, your number one source for Kabbalistic manifestation. Here we combine the ancient wisdom of Kabbalah, modern psychology, and quantum physics to help you achieve real, tangible manifestation results with my proven Abra method. I'm Ayelet Polonsky, and I'm here to guide you on your journey of manifesting a life that is aligned, expansive, and deeply connected to your highest self through the sacred energetic mechanics of Kabbalistic manifestation. To learn how to use Kabbalistic manifestation to transform your life from the inside out, go to ayeletpolonsky.com or download the Manifestation Method app. Let's open the gates of manifestation together.
Awesome. So, Ayelet, I think the first question that we get a lot is, can you actually manifest something instantly, or does it take time? Like, how long does it take for things to manifest?
I think this is probably like the number one question on the top of everybody's mind, right? And so let's just like debunk all the myths around it, because the answer is yes. Instant manifestation can absolutely happen. I mean, I've seen it time and time again in my own life and my work with my clients, right? And it happens especially for people who are clear, energetically aligned, and unblocked in their belief systems, meaning they believe that their desires are a possibility for them. But for most of us, manifestation works more like a delayed mirror, right? It really reflects our inner reality back to us. And sometimes there's a slight time lag or delay when it comes to how quickly we want it to happen and how quickly it actually does happen. So I like to think of it as like planting a seed, right? You might have a moment of total alignment, right? So let's say you declare to yourself, Dear Creator, I am ready for deep love, right? And then you bump into someone hours later who feels like a soul match, right? That feels instant. But usually it wasn't truly instant, right? Because the universe or the creator was orchestrating the timeline all along based on your readiness, based on your energy field, and based on your willingness to receive. So I'd say that instant manifestation is more common when it comes to smaller desires, right? Like parking spots, text messages, synchronicities, thinking of a book and then it appears on the sidewalk, right? That happened to me once, right? Because with the smaller manifestations, we don't hold resistance or attachment to them the same way we do for our bigger desires and manifestations, like a soulmate, like our dream home, our dream career, right? So the moment we remove the doubt, the resistance, or the urgency, then things do speed up. So I'd say yes, instant is definitely possible, but time is often part of the like sacred unfolding, right? And I'll also say that speed also has to do a lot with your nervous system's capacity, right? With your belief systems, with how much you are in alignment or a vibrational match to your desires. So what I tend to see is that faster manifestations tend to happen when we're unattached to the outcome, right? We know what we want, we know what we desire, but we don't cling to it for dear life, right? Faster manifestations happen when we are emotionally and energetically, when we've prepped our vessel to be able to hold the results that we're calling in, right? Also, faster manifestations happen when there's no inner conflict or limiting belief in the way, right? Because that often comes in as a blockage, right? And also,
Right.
a lot of it has to do with just your desire being in alignment with your soul's timeline, right? So sometimes if things are taking too long, it could just mean that there's a divine lesson that you're still meant to learn, right? Maybe that divine lesson is patience. Maybe it's trust. Maybe it's worthiness or deservingness. Maybe it's boundaries, right? And sometimes the slow manifestations are just a result of holding space for someone else's timeline, right? Especially when we're calling in love or
Yes.
collaborations, right? The person that God knows you're meant to be with, God already knows you're meant to be with. But just because you're a ready vessel doesn't mean that they're a ready vessel, and sometimes it's just a matter of like waiting for your subconscious to catch up with your declaration, and another, one thing we've been talking about a lot lately is just klipot. Sometimes things take a while because we're still in the process of clearing the klipot or the blockages from past karma or patterns or conditioning that we've picked up in this lifetime or past lifetimes. So just to like
Absolutely.
sum this question up in a nutshell, if things are slow, then it doesn't mean it's a no, right? Rejection is often protection, I like to say.
Yeah.
And it's just a sacred recalibration. Okay? So think of slow as your soul doing its deep prep work behind the scenes.
Yeah, I also really like what you said about the difference, the energetic difference between fast and slow manifestations is with a quick manifestation, it really is about the nervous system, right? Like when we talk about being a vessel in Kabbalah, that's literally what we're talking about, is having a nervous system being like regulated enough to be able to receive the manifestation. And that's what makes it come so quick. And I like what you said too about reminding us about how there's so many different factors at play with a fast manifestation versus a slow manifestation, like manifesting your soulmate, right? Like if you're manifesting a perfect pair of jeans, that manifestation really just involves you and that pair of jeans that's out there, right? Or like a free coffee, or let's say like a new dress or something, like a designer piece of jewelry that you've had your eye on for a long time, or even an apartment. Like there's certain levels of complexity that go up the more you start involving other people. And when you're involving like a whole other person, right? Like that is dependent not just on your alignment and your readiness, but on like all these other factors that that person's going through as well. So it's also good just to like keep it in mind that there's always higher forces at play that are like pulling the strings when
Yeah.
it comes to these more complex things that we're
Of
calling
course.
in.
Of course. And like separate from just it involving another person, a lot of it just has to do with the amount of resistance or disbelief we have in relation to the thing that we're calling in. Because disbelief, lack of faith, creates another klipa, another blockage that gets in the way of our divine manifestation showing up. So something like a pair of
Right.
jeans you mentioned,
Yeah.
I think for most people, they're not really attached to the pair of jeans.
Yeah.
Meaning, like, it'd be nice to have that pair of jeans, but it's not like,
Right.
my life
Like,
depends on it. This is
yeah,
a
like our
soul
worth
calling.
depends on it. Yeah, totally.
Like, my soul does not need these pair of jeans, you know?
Yeah, yeah. It's like a cherry on top. It's not like gonna make or break your self-worth almost in a way.
Totally,
Yeah.
totally, totally. And so I'd say like a big part of this is also just I always use the metaphor of like ordering an Amazon package, right? When your inner space, or not when, but when you order an Amazon package, right? More often than not, I assume that you click order on the item and then you let go. You're not checking Amazon every 5 seconds, to see if the item is actually on its way. You know that you know that you know the item is on its way, and it's only a matter of time before it arrives. So if
Right.
we can, and this takes work, I'm not saying it's easy, but if we can create that inner space around our bigger desires, right? That inner space of knowing, oh, my soulmate, my dream home, this collaboration, whatever it is, when you know that you know that you know it's on its way, then that's when we tend to speed up the time behind the manifestation.
Yes, yeah, and that kind of plays in, all of this really plays into this next question which we had, which was what's really happening when something shows up right after we ask for it? Is it luck, alignment, or something else? And
Yeah.
it,
So, I mean, it's a very simple, I think it's a very simple answer and short. So I'll try not to like go on a rant with this one. I'd say it's about alignment, period. Right? It's that click moment when your thought, your emotion, your energy, and your body are in perfect coherence. Right?
wow.
Manifestation is about creating coherence between mind, body, emotion, energy. And when you're able to declare that very thing that you desire with confidence, with bitachon, with trust, and with zero contradiction inside your energy field, then the universe responds fast, right? It's like
Right.
it's a quantum law. And so here's where I think it gets. I've got to interrupt this episode for just a moment to share something that has been an absolute game changer in my life, my home, and honestly, my nervous system. It's called the Biomat, and I am absolutely obsessed. I get asked all the time by listeners, Ayelet, what are your top hacks for staying in a high vibe, high frequency state, especially with everything you hold and all the energy you move? And this one is one of my best kept, not so secret secrets. The Biomat has completely shifted the energy in our household. It's not just mine. My husband uses it. My kids live on it, especially when they're dysregulated or overstimulated. And it's become a central part of how we stay grounded, clear, and aligned as a family. Whether I'm feeling tired, depleted, burnt out, in pain, or just need a reset, I lay down on the Biomat and within minutes, I feel myself coming back online. What makes it so powerful is the unique combination of technologies it offers. It has far infrared heat to penetrate deep into muscles, joints, and tissues, relieving pain, tension, and inflammation. It's got negative ions to support mood, circulation, and cellular rejuvenation. It's got crystal-like amethyst and tourmaline that naturally amplify healing frequencies and clear energetic blocks. And it's got pulsed electromagnetic field therapy, which helps reset your body's natural rhythms and restore balance to the nervous system. It's like this beautiful fusion of ancient earth wisdom and modern healing technology. And the moment you lay down, your body just knows. I truly believe every single person needs one of these in their home. Whether you're single and want a powerful way to care for your energy, or you're a mama like me and you want to give your whole family access to more calm, more clarity, and more vitality, the Biomat is it. You can head to the link in the show notes to learn more and bring one into your space. I guarantee your body, your energy, and your family will thank you. Now let's dive back into the episode. A little bit wild is that often it's not the request alone that creates the manifestation. It's the state of being that you're in when you're asking for that very thing you want. Because we all want things and we're all constantly like, yeah, we're manifesting whether we like it or not. But it's really contingent upon the vibrational frequency that we're carrying in any given moment. So I see in my own life when I'm in a state of joy, when I'm in a state of gratitude, when my heart is open, right? Then things start to show up instantly because I'm a match for that receiving energy. I'm in that vibrational frequency of creative energy. Right. And so in doing this, you're not begging, right? Manifestation doesn't call for begging energy or
Yeah.
controlling energy. It calls for collaborative energy with the creator. Right. So again, it's not luck. Like someone who's manifesting is not lucky. They're just in resonance and their state is in coherence.
Right, that's the true lucky girl syndrome is coherence, right?
Love that.
And I think too, something that you said that's so important. I've actually been having a lot of conversations around this recently with people about having, when we're not in alignment, right? Like you're saying that the ultimate deciding factor of when manifestations happen instantly is alignment and having that coherence. And what it means to not be in alignment is to have this tension, right? Like constant tension, like you were saying, like different parts of yourself, they might want different things, or there might be different parts of ourselves that are contradicting different things. Like, oh, if I get my manifestation, that means I have to give up this or that, or, like whatever the thing is, or part of me wants to go this way and another part of me wants to go that way. So there's always this underlying sense of tension in our minds and in our bodies. And what you're talking about, the coherence, is like really having unity and wholeness. Like I think I would say for me, it's like a feeling of wholeness. That's how I feel it in my body. And recently I had a really big manifestation come through. I literally manifested $10,000 overnight. I talked about it in the app and on our Rosh Chodesh podcast a while back. But really, like people ask me, like, how did you do that? And it really was exactly what you're saying. Like I had this moment of my different parts of myself being pulled in different directions. I really was able to regulate and align myself. I did the Manifest Abundance course in the Manifestation Method portal. And on top of it, like what you're saying, like a huge key is like the frequency of gratitude. Like gratitude is such a great way just to jump like quantum leap into the frequency of receiving so quick. I literally did the gratitude attunement every single day. Like on top of everything else that I was doing, I just really took time to do that attunement, be super grateful for everything in my life. And that really created like a sense of safety that could go, that took me from being in a state of tension with different parts of myself into alignment. So I think that that's like probably one of the most important things, which is something that is so special about the manifestation method in general, is like really, like you really teach how to go from these states of tension into that state of wholeness, go from disalignment into alignment. And it's like, yeah, it's definitely the most important thing. Another question we get is a lot of times, sometimes people need to manifest something under pressure, right? Or under a certain time limit. We all know that you manifested your husband Beryl in 21 days. And there's this question of, is urgency ever helpful in manifestation? Or does it repel what we want? Like, what if we really need something like to manifest a new job, or we really want to play around with manifesting something by a specific date? How does that work?
I mean, I don't know if anyone's going to want to hear this, but I personally don't think there's ever a space or an invitation for urgency. Like that frequency of urgency is really, I would say that urgency is usually a form of fear wearing like ambition's clothes, right? Like it's like fear disguised as ambition. Right. So people who are like they are just go, 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 go. They're ambitious. And I'm not saying ambition is a bad thing, right? But like it's when there's fear that's at the root of that sense of urgency, right? That's when we're creating a blockage. And so I would say urgency often comes from scarcity. It's that thinking that says, if I don't get it now, it might not come, right? And that energy contracts your field, right? That type of urgent energy signals to the universe, I don't trust the process, right? I don't trust the timing. And it's like holding your breath and wondering why life won't flow in, right? It's
Right.
literally constricting the portal. And I just want to also mention that there's a difference between urgency and momentum,
Okay.
right? Or clarity and momentum, right? There's a difference between urgency and clarity and momentum. So what I'd say is like you can take fast inspired action, right? We talk about this a lot inside the membership. You can take that you should take inspired action from a clear place. But
Right.
if you're acting from panic or grasping or proving, then you're really just in energetic resistance. So if you notice that you're in a sense of urgency, it has to happen and it has to happen now, the best thing that I like to do, I call it a sacred pause, right? Take a pause and breathe. And I ask myself, what am I afraid will happen if this doesn't come quickly? Right? Because that's often where my next layer of healing is in the answer to that question. What am
Wow.
I
Can you
afraid?
repeat that?
Yeah. What are you afraid will happen if it doesn't come quickly? Right. And whatever the answer is to that question is oftentimes the place where we're being invited to heal something a little bit deeper.
Totally, totally. That's such a good tool. I'm also thinking too, that's so crazy. Literally yesterday, I had someone call me who has these two incredible opportunities, and she had such a sense of urgency to pick which one, like this option, option A or option B. And she's actually one of our app members. And I told her to like making a decision when you're feeling activated or like rushed will never bring you the aligned decision. And I think two amazing tools we have inside of the membership is the surrender hypnoactivation, which we've had. That was with all of our courses. We take our people through like that deep surrender and receiving. But we also have clear, intense emotions hypnoactivation, which is so amazing to move that energy of fear out of your body in order to get to a state of clarity. It's really, really amazing. And yeah, definitely urgency and being rushed. It never brings anything good at the end of the day. And I love, love, love that question. What was it? What would you do? Or if you weren't afraid of the outcome, or if you didn't have to make the decision right now?
Or what am I afraid of if it doesn't happen quickly or in my
Yes.
timeline?
Yeah, yeah, so so good. And that is a really good segue just into talking about frequency in general and like becoming the version of ourselves that already has the manifestation. What does it mean to become the version of you who already has it? And how can we even accelerate that process?
Yeah, it's a beautiful question. And I really think that this is like the secret sauce to everything that manifestation requires, right? Because you can't manifest a future version of yourself if you're acting from a place of old patterning. Right? It's like Einstein said, you can't do the same thing over and over again and expect different results. That's the definition of insanity. Right? Same with manifestation. We can want until we turn blue in the face. But if we're not actually stepping into a future version of ourselves, right? That even, I'm just saying in your mind, if you can't even see yourself living in that desired future, if you can't see yourself acting, walking, talking, holding your posture, embodying that version of you, if you can't see it in your mind, then it's definitely not going to happen in your 3D reality,
Yeah.
right? And manifestation never comes from like chasing the thing. It really just becomes from embodying the frequency of the version of you that already has it. And so much of what we do inside of the membership, right, is I have my hypno activation library. And so a lot of what I'm doing, those hypno activations, which include like hypnosis, neuro linguistic programming, visualization, somatic work, is I'm actually having you go into like a theta brainwave state. So you're in a more transcendental state. So your field is open and receptive, and your mind is quieted, right? It's kind of like a trance state, so to speak. And I'm putting you in this state in your own frequency where you feel it in your body emotionally, you see it in your mind, you're activating the codes, you're activating this on a cellular level. And what you're activating is the future version of you as though she or he is already living your manifested life now. So a lot of it is like guiding you through how you would walk, how you would talk, how would you make decisions differently as if you already had it, right? How would you dress? How would you eat? How would you spend your time, right? What would you no longer tolerate or entertain, right? What boundaries would you put up in order to protect your field, right? All of these things are crucial when it comes to stepping into the future version of you now, because what you're doing in that practice is you're actually accessing the quantum field of infinite possibility. And because that field of possibility holds all the different possible outcomes of your life, which are infinite. There's an infinite amount of possible outcomes that you can live into in your life. And this requires us to really step outside like the old outdated model that like it's what I see is what it is, right? This is beyond. There's a quantum field that holds your vision. And when you're stepping inside that quantum field, then what you're doing is you're actually, and this is also a Kabbalistic principle, is you're pulling or drawing koach hamoshech in Hebrew. It's like the power that attracts, right? AKA the law of attraction. Koach hamoshech literally draws and magnetizes that version of your future self into your 3D reality, right? So when you become that future version now, energetically, emotionally, physically, what you're doing is you're collapsing time, right? You become a time bender. You become literally you're activating the energetic magnet that you are. And so then the universe doesn't have to deliver anything to you because you're already vibrating in the same frequency of that which you desire. So it starts to
Yes.
collapse those continuums into one, and it brings your desire into your 3D.
Yeah, it's almost like seeing a like okay, so like say like let's say there's like me now and then there's the manifested version of me in the future, right? So there's two different points. There's point A, which is me now, and point B, which is future me. And how can I build a bridge between those two people to be able to walk from A to B is literally with the hypno activations and literally doing the inner work. And that's so cool because it really ties into our original question, which is, the one that we get the most, which is how fast does it take to manifest something? Like how quick does it take to manifest my dreams? Does it take a week? Does it take 6 weeks? Does it take a year? And really, it really is up to us and how deep we want to go into the work and how much time and space we want to put into the work to create that. Because like with what you're saying too, like you can try something the same hundreds of times and you can stay the same or not want to grow, but that's literally creating klipot in your life. Like you're just hitting the same blocks and sometimes even creating more blocks for yourself. But really like the secret to all of this, to manifesting quickly and like how to become the version of you that already has it, is by making space to do the work yourself. And that's what's so amazing also too about the manifestation method portal is there are all of the tools in there for you to create that reality. And it really is up for us to decide how fast or how slow we want it to happen. I'm even thinking of one hypnoactivation. My favorite hypnoactivation, I think, is believe in your manifestations that we have. And one of the reasons why I love it so much is because there literally is part of the hypnoactivation, which you say to turn up the brightness of our manifestation, like play with turning it up to make it go from dark to bright. And then there's like another little dial that turns up the speed. So it's like we can play with how quick we want to receive it. And that's also a really good gauge to see with our nervous system, like, oh, is it happening too fast? Is it going to happen? Oh, like it kind of like freaks us out. I get, yeah, like, whoa, it could happen tomorrow. Like it really could happen tomorrow. Like if I wanted to turn up the speed that quick, but it's such a good gauge to be like, okay, like where am I at in terms of being able to receive?
How many people in the app, right, who have only been a member for like a month or two, who have been for years trying to manifest that thing that they really want, and we're seeing them comment in the community section of the app, right? All the things that they've been spending years and they've just trying to manifest, and they've manifested it in like a month, right?
Yeah, or less than sometimes.
Yeah,
It's so
really,
good.
it's so good.
It's so good. Yeah. So, okay. So here's also the next question. What are the spiritual or Kabbalistic tools for quickening manifestations? I mean, hypnoactivations, attunements, take the courses. Yeah. So
Yeah.
many.
I mean, there's so many, and there's so much like manifestation, possibilities out there, or content, or coaches. So I think like find the coach, find the mentor that really speaks to you on a soul level, like whether that's me or whether that's somebody else. Like just find the person who you're like, you know what? I really feel like they know what they're talking about and they have the tools and they've done it themselves. Right. And so, one tool, we can talk about what's inside the app and membership in a second, but one tool is surround yourself with expanders, right? Like surround yourself with, or what we call amplifiers, right? So an amplifier is someone who you look at their life, you look at their frequency, you feel their energy, you see their lifestyle, you see how they walk, talk, and what they're doing in the world. And there's something about how they're showing up and how they're living that inspires you, that makes you say, oh, I want that. And not from a place of jealousy, but from a place of holy envy. Like envy is not a bad thing, right? Envy is there as a mirror to show you what's possible. And so if you're looking at these amplifiers in your life and you're saying, oh, I want something that they have, that's just a compass telling you that it's possible for you. Because if it wasn't possible for you, I promise you, you wouldn't even look at that person and say, I want that. Right? Like
Right.
there's certain things that people have that like I have zero desire. Like I don't know, I have zero, like, I don't know, a zero desire for. And so they're not amplifiers for me. So I'd say one thing is like you become the 5 people you surround yourself with the most. Right. So really taking an internal accounting of who am I talking to on a regular basis? Who's inspiring me on a regular basis? Because those 5 people, the way they walk, talk, speak, act, show up in the world, you're going to be porous. You were porous beings. You're going to take on their frequency, whether you like it or not. Right.
Right.
So I've really had to like trim the fat or trim the branches and really get clear like who I allow into my inner sanctuary because I know that that's going to impact me. So I'd say that surround yourself with people who really inspire you and like believe in you and build you up. And then, of course, there's all the tools that, we have inside of the membership, right? We have the hypno activations, which I said, it's like really, this is the work that happens on the subconscious level, right? This is where we go into your subconscious beliefs, into your blind spot. And this is where you start to reprogram your subconscious. You remove the inner resistance that's slowing down your manifestations, right? This is where you really become the version of you that says yes easily. We also have inside the membership the mini attunements. So these are like 5 to 8 minute short when you're on the go, you're in a rush, you don't have much time. And these shift your energetic field and really calibrate you to higher frequencies of receiving. Right. So they're kind of like, I call them like spiritual tuning forks.
Yeah,
Like they
a little
help
pick me up.
little pick me up that help you resonate with whatever it is you're looking to feel or call in that moment. Right. Um, and then, of course, there's like the live Rosh Chodesh rituals. Like I come on live inside the membership and we manifest in accordance or in alignment to the Hebrew calendar, which is the moon cycle.
Yeah, on the new moon. It's really, really powerful portal to step into.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'd say, whether you're an app member or not, like try to start incorporating to the best of your ability some sort of visualization practice, right? That's really powerful. Start walking, talking, acting as the future version of you that already has what you want. But ultimately it's nervous system work. It's soul work.
Right.
The vision boards are cute. They're effective. I'm not going to say they're not, but that's
Yeah,
the tip of the iceberg.
totally.
You really want to like master manifestation. You got to get into the kishkas. You got to
Yeah,
get to the bottom of what's
absolutely.
going on.
And truly, manifestation is so much deeper than just getting what you want, right? Or creating a life that you think you're supposed to have because, quote unquote, everyone else has it, like your friends on Instagram are living this life or influencers or whatever. It's so, so, so much deeper. It really is doing the healing and transformational work from the inside out. And yeah, there's so much treasure there. It's like beyond what we could even imagine when we start doing that. So, okay. Ayelet, what would you tell someone who is doing all of the right things, but their manifestation is not showing up yet?
I would call that just a sacred invitation to go deeper. Right? When you're doing the right things, what does that even mean, the right things, right? When, like, let's say we're calling it like meditating, journaling, visualizing.
Right, or maybe they're in the app and they're like, they've taken the course, they've done the hypno activation, and still nothing has come up.
Yeah, so it's often it can be a number of things. It can be a sign that maybe you're not fully believing that it's possible, right? So there can still like it's still just comes down to working on your level of belief and having it be like that Amazon package. Get to a place where you know and start to pinpoint what are the limiting beliefs that are getting in the way, right? And start working with those limiting beliefs and alchemizing them to a place of empowered knowing, I
Yeah.
would say. Another thing could be that maybe you're just like way too attached to the outcome or the timeline. I have so many other episodes just about surrender and letting go and divine timing. Listen to those because, manifestation energy does not like resistance, right? It likes the detachment to the outcome. And
Yes, and the
so
trust.
and of course, big time trust. Yeah. And so it's really important to know what your role is and what the creator's role is when it comes to manifesting. Your role is to get clear. What is it that I want? Why do I want it? Why does it light me up? And then you leave the how and the when up to the creator. The better you get at really giving it over, and surrender doesn't mean giving up, it means giving it over to a higher power of your own understanding. The moment you're able to give it up, right, that's when you unclutch. That's when you detach and you'll start to see things accelerate.
Yeah.
And another thing might just be that you're being rerouted to something better or more aligned. Like I always say, reroutes, like rejection is protection, right? And a detour is just getting you rerouted to a destination that is more in alignment with your soul's ultimate purpose. And of course, it could just be that, which is, I think, just like something that really like plagues the Western world is we do things from our head rather than our heart.
So true.
Right? Like the head likes to analyze and overthink and get into control mode and control the outcome, control the timeline. Whereas when you drop into the frequency of the heart, then you start to create more coherence and resonance with source energy. And that's when you start to see all those really miraculous little and big synchronicities show up. So, really
Yeah.
learning the language of the heart and learning how to drop into the heart. Again, this is a practice. And sometimes we could be doing all the right things, as a way to like control or prove our worthiness. But
So true.
but
So true.
the real invitation here is to surrender, to drop into
Yes.
trust, right? To ask yourself, what am I meant to learn in this sacred pause? And where am I still holding resistance or fear? Right. And so,
Absolutely.
you're not meant to wait to feel good until it arrives, right? Joy and wholeness are the magnet. So don't tell yourself, I'll be happy when. No, be happy now, and you'll see that that energy of happiness becomes your magnet for your manifestation.
Absolutely. I also was thinking too, one thing with the manifestation method, like why our method is so powerful is when you start learning that manifestation is really a formula, like Kabbalah. Kabbalah, it's like a lot of the time people describe Kabbalah as a technology. Like it's Jewish mysticism, but it really is like a technology that you can apply to your life. So we're talking about formulas, right? Like the manifestation process is formulaic. And there's some part you can really like with the Abra method, our method is ask, believe, receive, aligned action. And everyone also too struggles in that formula, right? You might know the formula as a concept. You might take one of the courses and know like, okay, like this is the process, ask, believe, receive, aligned action. But sometimes we're not really attuned to what we need to work on, like energetically in that formula, in order to get all of those wheels of that chariot, of that Merkava, of the Abra method going, right? Like all of those different wheels, like if you're thinking of it as like on a chariot, like spokes of a wheel that's carrying you to your manifestation, ask, believe, receive, aligned action. If there's one of those wheels that isn't working or like has a flat tire or like just needs a little tune up and attention, you cannot go where you want to go. And so one thing I think also for myself is like I even use like ChatGPT for where am I in my manifestation process, and that has been really instrumental to me, like adding that into my own practice where it's like seeing my blind spots. For me it's like, let's say like for me aligned action is super easy. I'm very action oriented as a person, but receiving is the hardest thing for me in that formula. And so really finding like, okay, like my blind spot is really being able to receive and really able to go into that trust and go into that surrender and regulate my nervous system to kind of even wait patiently and romanticize my life, like even while I'm waiting for my manifestation to come through. Like having some sort of little tool like that is super helpful, and like just training. Sometimes we just need a little extra support in one of those areas, and doing a little bit more of the surrender hypnoactivation or a little bit more of the receive hypnoactivations or more aligned action, wherever it is. When we start to learn like where we are in that formula in the Abra method, it really also can speed up our manifestation process without us even knowing it, because we're just doing the natural work on ourselves to strengthen what needs to be strengthened. Yeah, which is like, yeah, super, super important to do. And in terms of even getting clear on our desires, right? Like Ayala, you talk about so much about how clarity and crystallization of your manifestation is like the most important step, getting clear. How do you even discern whether your desires are aligned with your soul or are distractions for like or shiny carrots for something else?
Yeah, so I would say this one is subtle but powerful. And like really here's how to feel the difference. Right? Soul aligned desires feel expansive but also rooted at the same time. And really feel into this in your body as I'm saying these words, like more like a transmission versus just like information. Right? So soul aligned desires feel expansive and rooted, right? Soul aligned desires inspire growth, courage, and deeper self connection, right? And that's not to say they're not going to scare you a little, right? Something that's asking you to expand or that's something that requires courage might come with a little bit of fear, but the fear feels more thrilling, right? It feels like a fear that it's like, I have to do this. Like I know it's scary, but like I have to do this. Right. Also, I'd say that soul aligned desires They uplift others while they simultaneously uplift you. And I think that's a really good gauge, right?
Yes.
If you want that like multi-million dollar home, let's say, and that home never sees a soul besides you in it, right? Or your fridge is just has milk for coffee and that's it. And you don't allow guests into your home and you're there alone in this like $5 million home, $10 million home by yourself, right? That to me doesn't feel like a soul aligned desire. And it could be more of a distraction than anything. It could be more a type of manifestation around proving your worthiness versus it being a soul aligned desire. But if you want that $10 million home and your door is open and you have guests and you have a fridge full of food and you offer that food to the people who come through your door, that can very much be a soul aligned desire. Right. So ultimately, I'd say soul aligned desires really feel connected to your tikkun, to your soul correction, and to service. Like, what was I here? What am I meant to do on this planet? And in what way is that allowing me to be of service? Even if it's being a mom, it could be a real estate agent, it could be a social media influencer, whatever it is,
Right.
right? If it lights you up in a way that you feel like you are somehow helping others, then it's oftentimes a soul aligned desire. And the flip side of that coin are distraction desires, right? Desires that are just a distraction from getting into your soul aligned desires. And so these distractions often come in the form of comparison,
Yes.
right? That person has it, so I have to prove that I can do it too, right? So it often comes from a place of deep needing to prove
Or like keeping up with the Joneses.
or keeping up with the Joneses, right? So often there's like a deep wounding there that needs to be uncovered.
Yeah.
Another distraction type of desire, it could feel compulsive or ego driven or anxiety fueled, right? If I don't get this, then my life is going to fall apart, right? Like that's often a distraction desire. It's like, again, coming from a place of needing to like prove your worth.
Yeah.
Another one could just be that it disconnects you from your body or your truth. You might think you need that really expensive car. And not to say that you shouldn't have a really expensive car, but if the process of getting that car actually disconnects you from your body and disconnects you from your truth, then it's probably just a distraction,
Yeah.
right? Also, a distraction could seem really shiny on the outside, but it leaves you feeling empty inside, right? Like that
Totally.
$10 million home that doesn't see a soul, right? So, to discern one from the other, I really invite you to ask yourself, is this desire rooted in love or in lack? Right? And will this move me closer to the person that I came here to be? Right? And your body knows, and so does your soul. So it's learning how to take that sacred pause and listen with enough stillness to hear that still small whisper of the soul saying, "This is what I came here to do."
Yeah. Amazing. Amazing. How do you prevent overwhelm or scarcity when we're trying to manifest multiple things at once or like upgrading really fast?
I would say you prevent overwhelm or scarcity by trying to manifest a lot at once, by really slowing down to prioritize resonance over pressure. Okay, so some things that help is like map it out, journal your desires, notice which ones light you up versus which ones stress you out, and then cut the fat, get to the point. Get to the
Yeah, we
point and
love that.
yeah. And I feel like we do this in like in work, right? We're always like, okay, what do we like we're so busy and we can take on so much at once that I always have to stop and ask myself, like, where can I trim the fat? What absolutely needs to happen? And what is just like extra fluff, me telling myself I need to do it in order to keep myself busy, right? Like get to the
Right.
core, to the bullseye of what lights you up, right? Because this will guide you in the direction of your divine manifestation. Another thing to do is just to like pick your lead desire, your biggest desire. Choose the one that feels the most aligned, right? Not the one that you think you should want based on society's expectations of you or familial expectation or community
And
expectation.
sometimes we can't explain why something excites us more than the other, right? And that's like part of the being in the mystery and letting God, like co-create with God. It's like, ooh, I should want this thing first, or it's more logical to try to manifest this thing first, but I'm actually really excited about this other thing and I don't even know why.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, a big part of preventing overwhelm and scarcity, it really just comes down to trust. I mean, like trust in the creator, but also in the creator's divine timing.
Yeah.
Right? Not everything is meant to land at once. In fact, we have to be honest. Do we have the capacity to hold that level of abundance all at once?
It's a
So
lot of responsibility.
it's a lot
You
of
got to do things in
responsibility.
baby steps too.
Totally, totally. So again, let your soul choose the order of what's right for you right now. Right. And then, of course, for me, like one thing that I do to come back to my center, into alignment, into peace with myself is I work with ritual, right? I have grounded practices that that really anchor me in my energy field. Because one thing that I know can cause me to really feel scattered is when my energy is being pulled from a million different directions, which can happen really quickly.
Yes.
Right. We know.
Yeah.
So like for me, just having ritual, like right now I'm in the middle of doing like a ritual with rose as a sacred plant, right? So I bought a bouquet of white roses and I got essential oil rose and rose tea and tinctures and rose petals. And even though my husband thinks I went overboard, it's like, okay, you know what? Whatever works. And
Yeah.
so when I wake up in the morning, as soon as I get home from taking my kids to school, I sit down in a designated space. I light a candle. I light Palo Santo, and I channel the frequency of the rose and what she's here to teach me, right? That's my practice right now.
Yeah.
Pick your medicine, right? But also like rituals like the attunements in the
Yeah.
membership, right? That's a quick and easy way, if you need some guidance to help you tune in easily and quickly, then the
Yeah.
attunements are the way to go.
Yeah. Anytime where you create space for yourself and create that sacred pause to bring you into the moment is a ritual.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
doesn't have to be something that someone prescribes for you. You can also create your own ritual. And the attunements or hypnoactivations are really a beautiful way to start doing that in your own life.
Totally. Totally. Yeah, and while manifestation, as you kind of climb the manifestation ladder and start gaining more of a understanding of how everything is energy and frequency, and you align yourself with that frequency of abundance and manifestation, then you can start manifesting without really even trying, because it becomes your natural state of being, right? Where
Right.
you start thinking things, then you see how all the pieces come together to like have you meet that right person or go into the right experience or go into the cafe and meet that person you needed to meet in order to get you to, step Z in your process. But until then, right, as you're climbing the ladder, just remember you don't have to manifest everything right now.
Right.
Right? Just become the version of you who trusts that everything is on its way. Like if you can do that, trust the version of you or become the version of you that trusts everything is on its way. That's how you really start to get into that frequency where you can start manifesting many things at once.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And our final question for today is is there is there like a block that when you unblock it unlocks like the floodgates for your manifestation, like a domino effect that knocks all the blocks down?
Interesting. I would say yes, and I would say that it's different for everyone. I'd say for some, that root, like oftentimes there's like a root tikkun,
Yes.
right? And this has a lot to do with our tikkun, which is our like soul's correction. Like, what did our soul come here to learn? And sometimes it's not a pretty lesson, sometimes it's not a comfortable lesson, but it's always a sacred and important one, right? And so for some people, it has to do with self worth, right? For others, it has to do with deservingness. For others, it's love, right? So, for some people it's financial ease or spiritual clarity, So usually there's one key upgrade that once embodied shifts your entire timeline,
Yeah.
And so I'd say like understanding what your tikkun is, like what your soul came here to repair, and it could be like lifetimes of repair. It could
Mm-hmm.
be lineage repair, meaning ancestral repair. But once you get clear on what that like big, I'd say like the trunk of the tree is of your tikkun, right? Then
Mm-hmm.
all the branches start to come into alignment with that one thing that you're focused on, right?
Yeah.
Oftentimes we're like losing sight and we're trying to like grab onto all the branches when really all that's required is getting to the root of what our soul repair is in this lifetime and just getting to that soul repair. I mean, we're always going to be here for a soul repair. Like it's part of just being in human bodies, right?
Right.
But a lot of times we do the work on getting to the root and a lot of things start to unravel as a result.
Yeah, definitely. And for those of you who don't know, we recently launched a whole new workshop called the Tikkun Workshop inside of the membership. And it is extremely powerful. It's definitely, I think, the most powerful course that we've dropped in the membership. It really goes deep into taking you through understanding, first of all, like what is tikkun, what your tikkun is. We even have a hypnoactivation that goes into past life regression. So you can actually go into past lives and see and find this similar theme that you might have been dealing with lifetimes and clarify that now and unblock that and heal that in this life so you can live to your full potential. We have a whole section on klipot and finding these blockages, other blockages in our life that we can remove, and then how to embody it and heal it and live your tikkun like with joy and happiness and really just take you to the next level of your life. So if you haven't been able to check that out yet and you are a member, highly recommend. And if you're not a member yet and it's something that calls to you, I really invite you to join the membership and start that journey for yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So this was a lot of information. So why don't we all just like go ahead and take a deep breath in and sigh it out and just let all this information settle into your nervous system, right? And not even just as information, but as an activation, right? Because the truth is manifestation isn't just about asking or waiting. It's about becoming, right? And when you become the version of you who trusts in divine timing, who lives in resonance with your soul, who softens the urgency and expands into receptivity, then everything starts to shift, right? So I just want to remind you that wherever you are in your manifestation journey, you're exactly where you need to be, right? Nothing is ever missing, nothing is ever off track. Whatever is ultimately meant for you will find you, it has to. And whatever is not meant for you will be shed, it has to, right? And so trust that your field, your energy field is preparing, that your soul is aligning, and that your nervous system is stretching to hold the more that you're calling in. And if this episode resonated with you, if it spoke to you, and you think anybody else has questions similar to the ones we've answered, please share this episode with someone you love. Let it be a conversation, not just content. Thank you, thank you, thank you for listening. I love you. Here's to your rising. If you enjoyed this episode, let's keep the conversation going inside the Manifestation Method Portal app, your #1 destination for Kabbalistic manifestation. Inside, you'll unlock the secrets of manifestation through my proven Abra method, rooted in Kabbalah, psychology, and quantum physics, designed to help you manifest real, tangible results from the inside out. Join our global community of manifestors, explore our signature courses, monthly live manifestation workshops with me, Ayelet, and access our transformational hypno activations and attunements to rewire limiting beliefs and align with your soul's purpose. The app is available now on the Apple App Store and Google Play. To sign up, head over to ayeletpolonsky.com. Becoming a co-creator with the Creator is your birthright. Let's manifest the life you desire and deserve together.